Montreal, you're the visiting club. Who's calling the coin? You're going to call the coin. Okay. That's a head.
Yep.
That is a tail. Your call is? Tails. Your Honor, would you flip the coin, please? Tails is the call.
Okay.
It is a tail. You've won the toss. You can choose now or defer. You'll take the football. Which side would you like to defend? Stay where you are. Montreal will receive to start the game. Good luck, gentlemen.
Moments away from the opening kickoff. Let's head down to the sidelines and check in with Sarah Orleski.
Coach, last year you played the Grey Cup on home field. This is technically a neutral site, but it looks anything but. How have you told your team to prepare for it?
Well, we spent 2 days practicing in the noise. We got a veteran football team, and we're hoping we get started by silencing them early.
Thanks so much for this. Let's head over to Farhan Lalji with Ken Miller.
Thanks, Sarah. Coach, your team was admittedly a little too excited last week. With the crowd even bigger and the stakes even higher, what do you say to your young quarterback to manage his emotions?
Well, I said, be calm, be confident, do what you do, and have fun.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, the weather is perfect, and so is the matchup. The Alouettes bringing a franchise best 15-3 record. They dismantled the BC Lions in the Eastern Final, 56-18, trying to snap a 4-game Grey Cup losing streak against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Roughriders, who won the West, ousted the defending Grey Cup champions and have brought an entire province with them in this, their second Grey Cup in 3 years.
Montreal Alouettes, you heard Mark Trestman in the locker room talk about the collective vision. That vision began at the end of last season for this Montreal Alouette team. They are focused. You mentioned the franchise record, 15 wins. They scored 600 points this year, and this year a team record for points allowed. This is the best football team in the Canadian Football League in 2009. Saskatchewan Roughriders, they talk about from their head coach that effort is their edge. They are the most resilient team in 2009, and they had to go through a very tough West Division to get here.
How about the weather out west in the fall? We've had nothing but outstanding weather for the most part throughout the stretch drive to the Grey Cup, and we couldn't have ordered better weather for the biggest game of the year. Interesting to call the coin flip and to try and figure out the wind advantage in the second half of this game, because Glenn, it's already changed today. It was predominantly going from left to right on your screen for the most part today, but in the last hour or so it's changed completely around.
By the looks of the coin toss, though, Chris, I thought that Anthony Calvillo, if he won the toss, was taking the ball. So Darian Durant will have to watch Anthony Calvillo, the 16-year veteran, in his 7th Grey Cup start before he gets his first series.
Well, as Dave Randorf mentioned, 78 years ago, the Montreal Wing Wheelers beat the Regina Roughriders in the 1931 Grey Cup. But this, today, a Grey Cup original matchup. The Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Montreal Alouettes.
This is Major Darcy Molstad, Deputy Commanding Officer of Fort James from Cold Lake, Alberta, welcoming everyone in Canada and all Canadian Forces members serving abroad. You're watching the 97th Grey Cup live on TSN.
Well, this is it. Luka Kanji has it on the tee. There's Brian Bratton, Larry Taylor deep. The 97th Grey Cup on TSN is underway. And the ball on the carpet and quickly swarmed downfield at the 26-yard line. Bratton on the football, not much of a return. And there is Anthony Calvillo making a Grey Cup record-tying 7th start and coming off a playoff record-tying 5 touchdowns in the Eastern Final.
A few nights ago, named the outstanding player in the Canadian Football League, threw for 4,639 yards in the regular season. And the most remarkable stat for Anthony Calvillo, 2009, 550 attempts, only 6 interceptions.
First play of the goal, being over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Jamel Richardson. As we set the Alouettes high-powered offense for you.
In the backfield, he'll have Avon Coburn and Kerry Carter at fullback. The receiving core, 3,000-yard receivers with Jamel Richardson. We've got Ben Cahoon, Kerry Watkins, and Brian Bratton. In the offensive line, Brian Chu, the veteran of 13 years. Josh Burke and Jeff Parrott at tackle. Scott Flory and Paul Lambert at guard.
Scored on their first 5 possessions last week against BC. It's 2nd and 10. And there is the most reliable receiver, Ben Cahoon, but he'll be taken down short of the first down by Mike McCullough, the St. Francis Xavier product at linebacker.
It's a good start for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Chris, because the Montreal Alouettes this season have been such quick starters. Their first 2 games of the regular season, they put up big drives for touchdowns. It's a good start for Saskatchewan.
There's Damon Duval, and the dangerous Jason Armstead is at his 30, awaiting the punt. Good kick by Duval. Backs Armstead up to the 20. First man misses, and so does the second. And Armstead's out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. 13 on the return after a 56-yard kick. And here comes the Western Division All-Star quarterback, Darian Durant.
4,348 yards passing for Darian Durant. And he will have one thing to try and calm his nerves. He will have this crowd behind him, without question.
Set to start. And Durant flushed. That pass incomplete. Out of the reach of Chris Getzlaff.
Take a look at the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensively. They will have Wes Cates in the backfield at tailback. Their 5-receiver pack features Andy Fantus at slot. They have Rod Bagg and Jerron Walker on the outside, Chris Getzlaff and Adam Nicholson. There's the offensive line. Jeremy O'Day, Mark Parenteau, Joel Bell, Chris Best, and the veteran, Gene Makowski.
2nd and 10. Cates releases 6 receivers. Pressure over the middle. Wide open was Cates across midfield. And the initial first down of the game as Durant hits Cates over the middle.
Wes Cates comes out of the backfield right here. He's going to come out, go in motion, and then go right down the middle. Vacated middle of the field from the Montreal defense as their safety, Matthew Prue, walks out. A little bit of an opening in behind the linebackers, and a big play early for Darian Durant. Should calm his nerves.
26 yards for Wes Cates. Now the inside handoff. That's Rob Bagg with the football. And Bagg down inside the 40. The Queens product is tossed out by Chip Cox.
Take a look at the Alouettes on defense. Up front, John Bowman and Anwar Stewart are the rush ends. Karan Williams, Eric Wilson inside, defensive tackles. In the linebacking core, one change. Ramon Guzman starts at middle linebacker. We will see Shea Emery, Diamond Ferry, and Chip Cox. The other linebackers, Matthew Prue at safety, Billy Parker and Gerald Brown at halfbacks, Davis Sanchez and Mark Estelle on the corners.
Back-to-back first downs, a 13-yard run for Rob Bagg. Play action fake, and Darian Durant throws that away under pressure.
Darian Durant, if he was nervous and did have some pent-up nervous energy in his first start in the Grey Cup, certainly isn't showing it. That's a good, solid pass down the middle to Wes Cates to get positive field position. And right now his offense is in field goal range.
Well, he admitted early last week he was hyper. Ken Miller said, I'm going to have to dial him down. And he did yesterday. Durant said, when you're the guy doing the thinking, you better not get overexcited. 2nd and 10. Pass high, and Durant Walker immediately taken down by Billy Parker, the fine rookie defensive halfback.
Saskatchewan Roughriders, though, all year, Chris, really relish the league of underdog. and it was a reflection of their quarterback. In fact, in talking to the coaching staff before this game about Darian Durant, they say no, during the regular season, Durant would get himself in trouble at times like a young quarterback will. But we were really looking forward to that next series because he always bounced back.
Here's Luka Kanji, 77% good on the year. He'll attempt from 42 yards out. Did not kick a field goal in the 2 games against Montreal. Puts this one wide left. And Larry Taylor in the end zone gets a block and is going to bring it out. Taylor down the sidelines. And out of bounds across the 25. So we remain scoreless. First quarter at McMahon. So no first possession points here at jam-packed McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Looks a lot like Riderville, doesn't it? Montreal takes over at their own 30. Davon Coburn tries the right side. Not much there. 3 straight 100-yard rushing games for Coburn against this Saskatchewan defense.
Up front, Stevie Baggs and John Chick come off the edge. Keith Sholigan and Marcus Adams in the middle at defensive tackle. The linebacking core has Ray Williams in the middle. Sean Lucas, who led the team in tackles outside, with Tad Cornegay. And in the secondary, James Patrick plays safety. It's Lance Frazier and the veteran Eddie Davis at halfback, Omar Morgan and Donovan Alexander on the corners.
Morgan, a 10-year veteran, 9 in Saskatchewan, but the one he missed was 2007. Second down, but a pass for Richardson. Is it intercepted? Lance Frazier with it, but the ruling incomplete. And the play halted as Frazier, the leading interceptor for the Roughriders this year, tried to sell that he had another.
Saskatchewan Roughriders go with pressure out of the gate, trying to force a quicker throw from Anthony Calvillo, and they get it. Sean Lucas, the linebacker, comes from the right side of the formation off the edge, as does Tad Cornegay. He forces a quick throw, and that ball just touches the turf. Lance Frazier in perfect position on Jamel Richardson.
The Alouettes normally quick starting, so back-to-back 2 and outs. A big win for the Saskatchewan defense. Duval, a line drive, returnable for Armstead. Up to the 45. Armstead after a 47-yard kick. Let's head to the Riders' sidelines and Farhan Lalji.
Thanks, guys. I had a chance to talk to Ryan Getzlaff, who is Chris Getzlaff's little brother. He's watching right now in Anaheim, but he won't be able to watch long. In about 10 minutes, he'll take to the ice for warm-up as the Ducks play Phoenix, and it's killing him that he won't be able to watch most of this game. Chris went through a similar situation 3 years ago when Ryan was in the Stanley Cup final. Chris was in Hamilton taking part in training camp with the Ticats, and he barely was able to watch any of the games because of everything going on there. They did speak last night. Ryan's message to Chris was, don't let this moment pass without enjoying it.
Well, Chris Getzlaff's been so impressive this year. There are the family members up in the stands. He bought 22 tickets for the game. Chris has been so good, we stopped making the mistake of calling him Ryan.
What a big play he had in the Western Final on a perfectly executed screenplay where Chris Getzlaff found the end zone. The Saskatchewan Roughriders beat the defending champion Calgary Stampeders to get a berth into this game.
Good 8-yard run by Wes Cates. The block from Joel Bell. And Cates again on 2nd and 2. High steps into the secondary and down to the 42-yard line. Wes Cates with only 67 yards in 2 games this year against Montreal. Off to a good start.
Both those games in the regular season, Saskatchewan got behind in those games and really abandoned the running game to Wes Cates. He had just 9 carries in the first one, and he had 8 in the second game. And the guy we just talked about, Chris Getzlaff, gets a nice cut block off the edge on John Bowman to give Wes Cates a little bit of a scene.
15-yard run after 8 on the previous carry for Cates. And Durant hit as he delivers the football out in the flat. That's Rob Bagg for short yardage. Darian Durant got hit as he delivered that pass to Rob Bagg.
I've been impressed, though, out of the gate to see Darian Durant calm, cool, and poised in that pocket. You knew he'd have pent-up nervous energy. His first Grey Cup start, a reflection of his head coach, who is certainly calm on that sideline.
Darian Durant leading on some experience around him. Marcus Crandall, a winning quarterback in 2001, coach with the Roughriders. 2nd and 8. Rob Cates has a seam, and Wes Cates will be dropped by Gerald Brown, close to a first down. Looks like he'll be a yard and a half short.
Gerald Brown stepped up on this tackle and is going to give a tough decision to Ken Miller here as Wes Cates on a draw play on 2nd and long. You know you have confidence in your running game when you're trying to run the football on 2nd and long, trying to surprise the defense. But that tackle there by Gerald Brown is going to make it a tough decision for Ken Miller here. I think they're going to try for points and kick the field goal.
But the offense has moved the football against a defense ranked number 1 in 21 of 25 categories. You're right, there's Luka Kanji, who will recalibrate and try from 40 after missing from 42. And this time Luka puts it through. First points of the 97th Grey Cup game go to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 3-0 Saskatchewan. Let's go to the Alouette sidelines and Sarah Orleski.
Chris, among the many positives of Mark Trestman with these Alouettes is how he has re-energized the veterans. Last year going into the Grey Cup, the 3 longest serving Alouettes, the 3 C's, Ben Cahoon, Anthony Calvillo, and Brian Chew. There was talk that all 3 of them may in fact retire. Well, this year, there's no talk about it at all. They are all enjoying playing for Mark Trestman. He has really re-energized them. In fact, Brian Chew said that regardless of the outcome today, he's not thinking retirement anymore.
Louis Sakota, the line drive that's off the fingertips of Jermaine McElvain, one of the up men. And McElvain will take off, and the big defensive end brings it across the 40-yard line. It is a veteran group, no strangers to these cups, and guys like Brian Chew trying to improve their Grey Cup record, which started with a loss here in 2000 at McMahon against BC.
211 starts, Chris, for Brian Chew in Canadian football, and he was the one guy that I thought was probably going to retire, win or lose after this game. But as Sarah mentioned, with Mark Trestman really rejuvenating their careers, they want to continue to go.
While the Pro Rider fans amp it up, Calvillo slings that, and Jamel Richardson, the former Rough Rider, can't bring it off his shoe tops. Guy who left Saskatchewan after 4 years just prior to Saskatchewan 2007 Grey Cup championship.
Passing game a little off at this point. It's going to be a challenge for those offensive linemen we just talked about, Brian Chew and Scott Flory, outstanding lineman in 2009, won that award a couple of nights ago. They have to figure out this different front from the Saskatchewan defense. They like to lose a lot of movement up there.
Calvillo 0 for 3 out of the gate, looking at 2nd and 10. That pass incomplete with Coburn looking like he was open. So a sputtering start for the heavily favored Alouettes.
Heavily favored, and all the talk about this number 1 offense that ranked 1st in passing yards per game, 1st in points per game at 33.3, and in their first 3 series, they are 2-0.
Duval high. Armstead brings it down at the 20. Shakes a tackle with a spin. And Armstead's been dynamic so far. Grey Cup. Saskatchewan football at their own 30-yard line. Harriet Durant with a pass. And Andy Fantuz has his first catch, the top Canadian in the 2007 Grey Cup game.
5 catches for 89 yards for Fantuz. We saw Jason Claremont in the huddle, and in that last play for Saskatchewan, he's played sparingly throughout the season, had 317 yards receiving, did not score a touchdown, but you know that his veteran presence, a guy who has been in that Grey Cup game, won in 06, is important for Saskatchewan.
Big Chris Zarka checks in on 2nd and 1 as the fullback, and the Canuck truck has it. And a first down for number 33, the city councilor. A up to the 45-yard line, who says he's had a couple of meetings. He's the rookie city councilor.
Doubled the amount of carries that he had in 2008, and a lot of them in these situations. Gives that pad level nice and low, and he's not really hit until he gets in the linebacking core.
Said he's already had one complaint, but the constituent said, don't worry about it until after the Grey Cup game. 7 for Zarkin, a first down. And here's Durant throwing that away under pressure as Diamond Ferry, the linebacker, was blitzing on the play.
One of the linebackers that has subbed in has been Shea Emery, the Canadian from University of British Columbia. Great season this year with 52 tackles. A bit of a sore knee from that Eastern final against the BC Lions. So Ramon Guzman started the game. We'll see both of them platooning in and out. Shea Emery has been very important on the special teams as well. He's been taken off of those.
So 2nd and 10 for the Roughriders at their 45. Emery showing blitz. He does come. Durant running out of time, and he'll take off. And now throw downfield, and it's caught. The catch is made by Jason Claremont.
Little pressure from the Montreal Alouettes, and the block picked up right on the outside by Wes Cates to give Darian Durant a little bit of time in the pocket. Now he's going to extend the play with his legs and then find Claremont down the sideline. Takes a big hit from Chip Cox, but it's the block from Wes Cates that gets things started for Saskatchewan.
Another example, though, of the escapability of Darian Durant and how he can add Lynn Cates getting to the edge. Flags are flying as Ramon Guzman takes Cates out of bounds.
Holding. Saskatchewan, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's Chris Best, the left guard out of Waterloo.
Let's go back, first of all, to that big play by Wes Cates, the tailback. If he doesn't get this block, there's no play down the sideline to Jason Claremont. Big block on Diamond Ferry, who was blitzing from the linebacking core. Claremont makes the catch down the field. Now that holding call pushes him back, but it's first down.
Ferry was shaken up. He's gone to the bench. Guzman takes his spot. There's Claremont again, and he is upended by Davis Sanchez on the corner. And didn't he make a physical impact last week against BC in the Eastern Final?
A couple of interceptions on the season for Davis Sanchez, but I like the play of Darian Durant early in this game. Everyone wondered if he would be nervous, if the nerves would affect his play. He looks calm and collected and poised in the pocket. So moving this football team, you can see the numbers show that.
2nd and 13 after the holding penalty. Pressure, and Durant just gets that one out of his hands as Anwar Stewart turned up the heat, the top defender in the Eastern Division this year. And they're going to confer here. Did Durant make it to the line of scrimmage?
Yes.
Is this going to be grounding? And now the flag does come out.
Yeah, it was very close, and I didn't think that it did make it. Looked like it was about a yard short.
Intentional grounding. Saskatchewan, number 4. The ball never crossed the line of scrimmage. It's third down.
So that backs the Roughriders up.
Darian Durant has done this now 3 times in this game, and we're still in the first quarter where he has felt the pressure and thrown the football away. That one just a little short of the line of scrimmage, so an intentional grounding call.
Louis Sakota, the punter, and the dangerous Larry Taylor. 7 kick returns for touchdowns this year. 3 by the Montreal returner. And Sakota with a kick off the side of his foot that bounces out at the 25. Well, the 2009 Grey Cup on TSN, brought to you by Pepsi Max, 0 calories with kick. And there's the Pepsi Max halftime show as we get set for Blue Rodeo. Jim Cuddy, the left-handed quarterback for the North Toronto Norsemen.
What's cool about that is that football fans across this country got a chance to pick the songs that Blue Rodeo will play at halftime.
Anthony Calvillo trying to get this offense kick-started. And the ball's locked loose. Keith Shilligan's got it. And the big defensive tackle's down inside the 10 as Marcus Adams knocked the ball loose.
Marcus Adams is not asked to make many tackles in a season. You won't see him in the newspaper very often. He just keeps plugging up that middle. One of the most underrated defensive tackles in the game. His partner, Keith Shilligan, picks up the loose ball. Saskatchewan has all the momentum. And remember, they were the heavy underdogs coming into this one.
Keith Shilligan, the product of Spruce Grove, Alberta. And the Roughriders with a first down inside the Montreal 10, first and goal. A lot of movement. Durant into the end zone, touchdown! Andy Vantoos!
The 2007 Grey Cup Championship, Andy Vantoos had a touchdown. He's got one in 2009. Nice inside move. Darian Durant steps up in the pocket. And the underdog Saskatchewan Roughriders jump out ahead.
Lay off.
Drop back the holder. Kanji the extra point. Stunning start for Saskatchewan.
Tremendous route running from Andy Vantoos, number 83, who's going to be working on Chip Cox, who walks out from his linebacker position, and watch him jab step with his right foot right there. That puts Chip Cox now at a disadvantage because he's on the outside shoulder. Andy Vantoos has inside position. Good hard throw just inside that upright. And Saskatchewan Roughriders have their first major. Nice route running as Andy Vantoos pushes Chip Cox up the field. Little jab step to the outside and back in over the middle.
Missed 5 games this year, was plagued with hamstring problems almost all season long. Declared himself 100% a couple of weeks ago, and boy, has he become a dominant player again.
A couple of catches by Jason Claremont. Andy Vantoos with a touchdown. The Canadian Air Force is at it again.
Chatham, Ontario product.
Everybody back home, back in Ontario, back in Saskatchewan. Keep watching. Let's go, Riders.
Just the 3rd touchdown scored against Montreal in the first quarter all year.
How about this Saskatchewan defense and how they have bottled up Anthony Calvillo in this first quarter.
Kanji kicks it short, and they're going to let this one go out. And that will give Montreal the football at the 45. You mentioned it off the top. Is this the kind of situation?
Legal kickoff. Saskatchewan, number 10. First down, Montreal on the 45.
Is this the kind of situation where Ken Miller's team has forced Anthony Calvillo and company to say, here we go again?
Yeah, well, you talked about the Grey Cup record and their 4 straight losses. 03, 05, 06, and of course last year to Calgary. And with Saskatchewan jumping out in front, this confident Alouette team now has got to be wondering.
Just over a minute left first quarter. Calvillo without a completion. Hands it off to Coburn. And they'll try and get something established on the ground. A first down carry up across midfield. Their initial first down, and John Chick the tackle.
A good play calling by Mark Trestman to try and settle this offense down, and they do it by going to the running game. And Avon Coburn mentioned his 1,200+ yards in the regular season. All-Canadian along with Joffrey Reynolds at the tailback spot. And there's Coburn trying to settle this offense down and gets his first down.
A little toss to Coburn. Nice cut inside. Then John Chick brings him down at the 50. 4 more for Avon Coburn, who had one game, a personal high 25 carries, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Saskatchewan.
146 and 101. So both games over 100 yards rushing for Avon Coburn against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in those 2 games. And this is the one area for Saskatchewan that this year has been a bit of a challenge. They ranked 7th coming into this Grey Cup championship through the regular season against the run.
2nd and 6, final play, first quarter, barring a penalty. There's the first pass complete. Cahoon's got it down at the 32. On the final play of the opening quarter of the 97th Grey Cup here at McMahon. First quarter stats are brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always.
Well, you'd have to say that most of the experts have to be a little surprised now with just 2 first downs for the Montreal Alouettes in that first quarter. Almost unheard of in the regular season for them to get out to such a slow start. Their first 3 series of the game, 2 and out.
Great front-running team. In fact, it's the most points Montreal has allowed in the first quarter this year. And I know when the coin toss was won by Montreal and they wanted to get the football, you thought, well, here they go again, the quick start that they're known for. Trying to play catch-up here. First and 10. Calvillo, second puntman. There's Cahoon again. The possession receiver for the Alouettes has his 3rd catch.
Well, in order to get this offense going, they need a little bit of help from their offensive line, and Anthony Calvillo got it on that last play because he had lots of time to look at his first, 2nd, and 3rd read. That offensive line up front has got to start to slow down the pass rush from the Saskatchewan defense. You could see Calvillo had enough time to look at his 2nd read, which was Ben Cahoon. A little stop and go right across the middle.
Just 2 catches for 19 yards in the Eastern Final, so Ben Cahoon already has been deployed more by Calvillo today. Back inside, and Coburn, short yardage. And Ray Williams and Coburn, a little jostling after the play.
Ben Cahoon has just set a Grey Cup record, is now the all-time leader in receiving. 42, 609 yards, a couple of touchdowns for Ben Cahoon in his Grey Cup appearances, 6 of them.
And with 57 catches next year, he will have more pass receptions than any player in CFL history, if indeed he does choose to return. First and 10, Calvillo, the corner road, and that's incomplete. Jamel Richardson, the former Rough Rider who had 3 touchdowns last week, has been a target 3 times so far today without any success for Calvillo.
You know, and Anthony Calvillo in that first quarter had a little pressure on him. There's no question about that. But he also had, at times, time to throw the football like he did there and really just missed his target. And could it be then Darian Durant in his first start is more calm than Anthony Calvillo in his 7th Grey Cup start? He looks a little nervous.
3-time league outstanding player, 2nd and 10. Has to step up into the end zone and threw it away as he really took a hit. Ray Williams, the middle linebacker, unloaded on Anthony Calvillo.
Calvillo just runs out of time as he starts to work to his right. Ray Williams is what's called secondary contain and makes a good decision not to lead with his helmet there. He jumps up and just uses his shoulder pads and therefore does not draw the penalty flag.
So the league's leading scorer, Damon Duval, comes on 242 points this year. Finished the season 18 for 18, missed one in the Eastern final. Cahoon spots it, Duval splits it, and the Alouettes are on the board. Early second quarter. In 75 days, the world will come to Canada for the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Winter Games. CTV and TSN bring you live coverage beginning February 12th. Well, it's not mosaic, but it sure looks like it. Roughrider fans enjoying this 10-3 lead as Duval kicks it off at Armstead. Going east and now west, and he gets swarmed. Corey Hucklack, the Winnipeg native, leading the charge downfield.
It's Jamie Barise, the quarterback coach, that a few more words for Darian Durant at 70% in the first quarter. As we go into the second quarter, he's looked very good and poised in the pocket.
Called Kerry Joseph a couple of days ago. He was number 3 behind Joseph in 2007. Kerry Joseph told him, don't make it a bigger game than it is. Problem with the ball there. Has to scramble, has to throw it away.
I think that's the 4th time now in this game that he has thrown the football away when things have broken down. And again, just want to illustrate his poise as he drops his football, the ball on the turf, but he calmly reaches down. This is a Grey Cup championship and his first. Calmly reaches down, picks it up, stays composed, rolls out and throws it away. Every step that he has gone in his football career, people have told him he's not good enough to play quarterback, and that included North Carolina, where he went to college. Proved them wrong every time.
2nd and 10. Over the middle, there's Chris Getzlaff. Cut down at the 26, and he'll be short of the first down. Shea Emery, the Vancouver product, with the tackle.
Layered routes there. Chris Getzlaff, the underneath route that the Montreal Alouettes defensively are trying to just scratch back into this football game, and they'll give Saskatchewan that one in that situation in 2nd and long and just rally to the tackle, forcing the Riders to punt the football.
First 2 and out for Saskatchewan. Larry Taylor awaits. Better kick by Sakota than his first. And Taylor drops it. And he breaks one tackle and is dropped at the 34-yard line, approaching the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Back at McMahon Stadium, it's Alouette football. First down at their 34, down by a touchdown. And over the middle, Jamel Richardson has the catch and breaks out to midfield. Richardson, the most dangerous receiver in last year's Grey Cup game for the Alouettes.
Last year, his first 1,000-yard receiving season. He backed it up with another one this year and really missed the first 5 games of the regular season. And one of the things that not many people talk about when it comes to Jamel Richardson is his ability to get yards after the catch. He can break a tackle as good as anyone in the CFL and does it there on any game.
First receiver not named Cahoon with a catch for Montreal today. Into the flat, there's Coburn. And he's dragged down by the veteran, Eddie Davis. Time for the TSN Chalkboard, brought to you by Olamel's Microwavable Chicken Wings.
Well, the one thing that Anthony Calvillo will do when he gets in trouble a little bit offensively is go to Ben Cahoon, and they will try and rub for Cahoon and get him open. Watkins comes down. He makes it look like he's going to pick on Eddie Davis and then go down the field. Morgan has to cover him, but Cahoon will slip underneath that rub if you're an offense, or pick if you play defense.
Second down. Over a little stutter step and then plunges ahead and should have the first down. So this Alouette offense appears to be gaining a little traction.
Yes, they are. They go to the run game, and then they go to Ben Cahoon, Mr. Reliable, and the guy that led the CFL in catches with 89, 37-year-old Ben Cahoon, who says he's coming back another year for sure, probably a couple of years. We will evaluate, of course, like they do at the end of every season, but Ben Cahoon under Mark Trestman continues to flourish, and it's well documented, the chemistry between he and Anthony Calvillo. He's not the biggest receiver in the Canadian Football League, and he's certainly not the fastest, but Ben Cahoon, when that ball is anywhere in his area code, will come up with it. There's a ton of fight in that dog.
Big Eric Wilson will check in, and so will Adrian McPherson, the short yardage quarterback for Mark Trestman, on 3rd and inches. As the big boys hunker down. And McPherson will plunge ahead for the first down behind Brian Chu and the top offensive lineman in the league, Scott Flory.
This year, Ben Cahoon made one of the greatest catches in a long, long time in Canadian football, and it was against Saskatchewan, one-on-one on Tad Cornegay, and he caught the ball, Cornegay's helmet, and somehow was able to hang on as they both hit the ground. An amazing catch by Ben Cahoon, maybe the best I've seen in years and years.
And he alone has made more than a few. Side play, and he hits Ben Cahoon again. Montreal's version of the zone read that Saskatchewan deploys and Calgary's made famous.
Well, it is, but you have to establish Avon Coburn initially, which Calvillo is starting to do now, so they can go to play action and fake it, pull it on Coburn there, and then go again to Mr. Reliable over the middle and Ben Cahoon. He will just sit down in the zone, and he just tries to read where Saskatchewan is playing it, sees the flow, he goes against it, and sits in that hole.
Injured linebacker for the Roughriders, Sean Lucas, their leading tackler the past 2 years, is down, so Jarrell Freeman will have to check in for at least 3 plays. And while Lucas gets attention, will step out midway through the second quarter. A reminder, the Pepsi Max Grey Cup halftime show featuring Blue Rodeo still ahead. So Lucas to the sidelines, Jarrell Freeman's in. 1st and 10 Montreal, 6th play of the drive. This play stopped, and it looked like Richardson was ahead of the snap for Montreal.
Mark Trestman will script.
Procedure, Montreal, number 65. 5-yard penalty, complete first down.
Well, Lambert, the left guard, called there. He will script the first dozen plays of the game, but at this point now, Trestman has to be looking at some adjustments that he's making. One adjustment was to go to Avon Coburn a little bit more. The timing and the motion was off in that play. Again, uncharacteristic for the Montreal offense to have mistakes like that.
So it's 1st and 15. 6 receivers out. Calvillo finds a hole, and he'll slide down inside the 30-yard line. We will see him take off on occasion.
On the Eastern Final. He rushed the ball 3 times, had 24 yards rushing in that game, so he had a good average. He will take off, and that's one of the skills from Anthony Calvillo not talked about. He is a pocket passer, a timing passer. Takes off and runs, picks up a good chunk there.
Got 9, 2nd and 6. Roughriders with some late subbing on defense here. Calvillo looks one way, checks down, and Kerry Carter, the fullback, fumbles. Last man to it, Chris McKenzie. Is this the second turnover of the first half? It is. McKenzie did have a foot in, and it's the second fumble recovery for Saskatchewan.
And Ray Williams is going to put the hit on Kerry Carter along with Eddie Davis, the halfback, and that ball touched before it gets out of bounds. And not only touched by Chris McKenzie, but he grabs it with that left foot still in the field of play. So that is a turnover. All you have to do in the Canadian Football League is be the last to touch it before it goes out of bounds. But Chris McKenzie secures possession.
Roughriders led the Canadian Football League in fumble recoveries with 25 on the year, but Montreal led the CFL in giveaway takeaway ratio. They don't cough it up much, but they've done it twice already in this Grey Cup game. Back to Cates and nothing doing. Taken down immediately by the middle linebacker, Shea Emery.
Play made, though, by the middle linebacker, Ray Williams. Remember, Sean Lucas was knocked out. Williams in the linebacking core is going to flow to this football. Kerry Carter comes out of the backfield, and Anthony Calvillo has to check it down here. But the pursuit of Saskatchewan, who, remember, the message from Ken Miller, who says effort is our edge. Well, it's effort that causes that fumble.
2nd and 9. Durant gets it away. Claremont got the catch in front of Billy Parker. And taken down at the 26. He gets swarmed short of the first down.
The mindset now for Darian Durant really is just try and grab some field position back.
They got a decent spot here, enough to get a measurement.
I was going to say, if they're close enough and inside a yard, does Ken Miller take a chance this deep in his own end?
Had a full yard in the first quarter and opted for a field goal. This is a much different consideration inside his own 30.
Yeah, baby! Right in front since 79. Let's go!
And a lot closer than I think it first looked.
And the big boys come in.
Yes, they do.
Along with Stephen Giles.
Here comes the short yardage team, which has had some mixed success this year. In fact, Stephen Giles has fumbled a couple of times in short yardage.
Including, Chris, the West Final against Calgary. He's got to have a short memory on that one now, because even though it's just a few inches, where they are in the field makes it that much more of a gamble.
Handed off from Zarka. With a pretty good surge off the right side, and they're going to give him the first down up near the 30. Driven back, and Shea Emery in there to fill the hole, but Chris Zarka has become a critical guy in short yardage in recent weeks.
Yeah, how about the confidence this coaching staff has in the Canuck truck up in number 33 to be able to take that ball off the line of scrimmage, turn around from Stephen Giles and hand it to him, knowing that Chris Zarka will get them that few inches they need.
Cates and Roy Stewart will pull him down up near the 35. 4 yards for Wes Cates.
Talked to the coaching staff about Wes Cates and that he was just shy of 1,000 yards on the season, and felt that for Saskatchewan to be successful against what is maybe the best front four in Canadian football for Montreal, they're going to need to get Wes Cates involved. Ken Miller said, despite the fact he missed 1,000 yards, he contributed in other ways.
The only starting tailback in the CFL that didn't hit 1,000. Second down, Durant. That delivers short of of the target, intended for Adam Nicholson, incomplete. And now the punt team will have to come on.
And the first throw from Darian Durant that he looked a little bit nervous. And when I say that, I looked at his feet as Darian Durant is going to drop back in the pocket here. He does have an open receiver. Watch him hopping in the pocket. He never really settles himself. Hops up and down a couple of times. Short arms that one a little bit. And it's too low for Saskatchewan receiver to come up with.
So Louis Sakota replaced the injured Jamie Borum late in the regular season. Set to kick it to Larry Taylor. Good work. Taylor backpedals to his 15. Mike McCullough downfield, and Taylor brought down at the 24. That's a 59-yard kick for Louis Sakota. Well, tonight on TSN2 NFL Sunday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Live coverage available exclusively on TSN2, beginning at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific.
That's a big, big punt for Saskatchewan and Sakota. His average in the West Final was 43.1, and they wanted a little bit more out of him. Sean Lucas back in the game on defense. More good news for Saskatchewan because that big punt just flopped the field in Saskatchewan's favor.
Jocelyn Fournette, part of the punt cover team for the Roughriders, shaken up on the play.
He's going to be the first one down, and it's normally unblocked from the center spot, but he gets blocked this time, and it's Davis Sanchez, the corner, playing on that return team for Montreal. Big punt for Saskatchewan, gets them out of their hole. We'll see if Anthony Calvillo can move it back and get the field position back.
Fournette on his feet, looks like he'll be okay. Ken Miller talked about his team being a field position team. They got off to a slow start last week, seemed to be pinned in their own end for almost the entire first quarter of the Western Final, but once they got better field position, they took charge. Now they're trying him in. Calvillo and the Alouettes. Underneath Richardson. And he's spinning head north in a hurry.
First of all, Anthony Calvillo, to get a little more protection help, is going to go with tight end formations. He's going to move Kerry Carter up to the line of scrimmage, and with Carter up there now, he's going to get a little more protection. There's Carter, one of the tight ends. He's got two. That gives him a little bit more time, and it allows him to just throw it underneath here to Jamel Richardson and then let Richardson do his thing.
20-yard gain for Jamel Richardson. Alouettes with a first down up at the 44. Cahoon back into the offense. And Calvillo takes off. Shulligan in pursuit. And Anthony Calvillo will step out at the Rough Rider bench. Close to 4 for AC.
Avon Coburn, his running back who had released into the pass route, gets a little bit of a chip block here on Omar Morgan, the corner, as Calvillo gets out of here. I thought there was going to be some kind of collision. Actually, it was Tad Cornegay here, the linebacker, coming up. Coburn just gets a piece of him, because if he does it, boy, Cornegay is going to put a huge hit on Calvillo before he gets out of bounds.
2nd and 6. Four-man rush underneath, and that'll be short of the first down. To Avon Coburn and Mike McCullough there again.
Mike McCullough will get a chance to play in the rotation. Watch how he shows the blitz up in the line of scrimmage here. He's going to show it like that and then drop back, get right back in that pass coverage, and it forces Anthony Calvillo, as he sees him drop, to dump it underneath to Avon Coburn, and then good sure tackle by McCullough.
Got 5 starts at middle linebacker when Ray Williams was hurt, and boy, did he play well in the breach. Valuable guy. Kingston, Ontario native. 3rd and about 2 yards. Duval in, and it goes off the side of his foot. Up at the 32-yard line. Uncharacteristic for the all-star CFL punter.
I don't think that bounced out either. That went out in the air, which would be a penalty.
The Roughriders will gladly take the football as they mark it up across the 30-yard line. That's just a 24-yard kick.
Francois, how do we...
Boy, in the Eastern Final, Damon Duval pounded the ball, 49-yard average. This one off the side of his foot, just a 25-yard punt. Now, when you consider Sakota's punt of 59 yards on the last Saskatchewan possession, that's a difference of about 35 yards of field position on the exchange.
About a third of the field. So a big exchange on the two punts. Durant back to work, looking deep. Rob Bagg, and he missed an open target as Rob Bagg got in behind coverage.
Rob Bagg shut it down for some reason. I'm not sure if he thought that he was not the primary target, or he felt that Darian Durant had either already unloaded the ball or was looking to the short side of the field. He kind of geared it down in his route as he went down the middle, or he would have had a big play, because that ball was catchable.
Missed opportunity, and Darian Durant said, as good as the Alouettes defense is, there are some big plays out there. 2nd and 10. Durant rolls. Looks for Nicholson. Incomplete. Davis Sanchez is there.
They have been so sure-handed as Adam Nicholson drops one. So that's and this receiving core in Saskatchewan have really been the story down the stretch and in the playoffs. And those were two mistakes in the receiving core that's going to cause Saskatchewan to punt the football. The first by Rob Bagg, who kind of geared it down on that deep one. And now Adam Nicholson putting the ball on the ground on a very catchable throw from Darian Durant.
2nd 2 and out of the opening half for Saskatchewan. Sakota again. This one bounces out inside the 30, and there's no return. And Louis Sakota's having himself a good first half. 47-yard punt and no return. 2:25 left first half. Then we'll check in. Dave Randorf, jock climbing. Matt Dunnigan and the big man Chris Schultz will weigh in on what they've seen in the first half. Those guys coming off a great regular season and a good playoff.
Yes, I've been searching for an Alouette jersey in this crowd, and honestly, I've found one so far.
There might be a couple.
There's a few sprinkled in and out, but wow. The Sea of Green is here. Rider Nation in attendance in the biggest city in Saskatchewan, Calgary.
There's that drive to the side. Richardson bounced off first contact and gets extra yardage up to the 35-yard line. Bounced off the first hit by Tad Cornegay.
One thing that Anthony Calvillo, you talked about missed opportunities for Saskatchewan trying to go deep. Anthony Calvillo has really not had the time to go deep, and he's gone to this quick ride and decide or play action, as you mentioned, Chris. In the run game, little play action there, out to Jamel Richardson, but it's all intermediate and underneath throws so far for Calvillo.
2nd and 4. Richardson in motion. Underneath it goes, and Kerry Watkins pulled down. Eddie Davis was step for step, and that'll be a 2 and out for Montreal's offense.
Another situation where Calvillo is trying to look deep. I thought he looked to the short side of the field to Ben Cahoon, who was covered up well right here by Omar Morgan. Omar Morgan, the veteran who did not get a chance to play in the Grey Cup in 07. He was in Edmonton, well covered there. And so Calvillo has to look back down, and again, underneath throw.
Duval, and this is a worse shake. That's as bad a kick as you'll ever see from David Duval.
Oh boy.
That's shocking. That's 7 yards. The previous kick was 24.
And it just hands instant momentum to the Riders. And that you could see on the drop of the football. He almost missed the ball completely. And it's so important for these punters to get that drop correct so the foot hits the ball squarely, and he almost missed it completely. Another shank.
44.8 yard average in the regular season, 49.2 last week. Durant going to try and make him pay. Chris Getzlaf the catch in front of Gerald Brown to the 38.
Kicking game is the third in the game, and Mark Trestman, when asked this week about special teams, he emphasized, he said he preaches to his team that it's more than worth 33%. The field is so wide, the field is 10 yards longer, so much time expires on a special teams play. He said it's that much more important, and he's had his punter have 2 crucial mistakes in this first half.
7 for Getzlaf, 2nd and 3. Empty backfield, 6 receiver set. Short drop, and that pass incomplete. And Andy Fantuz usually makes that catch.
Pretty good coverage there, though, by Billy Parker, the halfback. And when Andy Fantuz had his touchdown in the first quarter, he was working on Chip Cox, the linebacker. Here he's going to work on the halfback Billy Parker, who gets his hands around the waist and just distracts his Fantuz enough as he goes over the middle. Parker in his rookie season in the CFL.
So because of that 7-yard Duval punt, the Roughriders going to get a field goal opportunity. Got a touchdown off one of the fumble recoveries in this first half. And now Conji will set up from just inside the 45. Puts it through. Big kick and a 10-point Saskatchewan lead.
And 3 points really handed to Saskatchewan by Damon Duval.
Well, that ignites the fans here. Obviously pro Rough Rider, as Andy Fantuz has grown accustomed to.
Rider Nation is unbelievable, and you know, it just makes the whole experience so much better. They follow us all around, like not only in our own province, but in other provinces. That we always got a strong group of green in the stands, and it just makes it so much easier when even the home team's quarterback can't have total silence when they're trying to you know, communicate and do their cadence. So we have neutral sites and home sites. That's how we look at it.
And I'm not sure if this is neutral site or home.
This is a home game. I mean, this is a home game, and I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I was looking for Montreal jerseys in the stands, and really have only found a couple. But you could see Saskatchewan so far in this first half playing like they really had nothing to lose, playing like they were the underdogs, no problem. They're playing loose.
Sakota line drive kick, drills it past Larry Taylor. And Taylor was likely going to concede a single point here. Putting the knee down. There's another one for the Rough Riders off the toe of Louis Sakota. And now it's 14-3.
You know, Larry Taylor has to give up the point there because he's so deep in his own end zone. Sakota with another big kick. The kicking game a factor in this game already, but I just question a little bit the decision to waste a little time there. He gave up about 3, 4, 5 seconds as he walked down. I mean, the Montreal Alouettes are behind, and this game slips away on you in a hurry, especially when you're trailing. And Larry Taylor very casual, and he kills about 3, 4 seconds there. He should have got down and given Calvillo more time.
An 85-yard signal. Calvillo flushed. Now heaves downfield and incomplete. Trying to hook up with Brian Bratton, who had a pair of touchdowns in last week's Eastern Final.
Touched on Omar Morgan's play in the last series. There's Donovan Alexander in perfect position down the field on Brian Bratton, as Alexander plays that wide side corner spot right here, and he is in great coverage. When Calvillo has wanted to go down the field and try and push it deep, he has not been able to because of the coverage of the Saskatchewan secondary.
Donovan Alexander, who grew up in Winnipeg, is for Christmas asked for Winnipeg Blue Bombers season tickets. Now he's playing with the arch enemies. 2nd and 10. Calvillo in trouble again. Now looks downfield and overthrows Richardson. Very tough first half for the veteran Anthony Calvillo, and the Roughriders are going to get the football back one more time in this first half.
You know, they talked about confidence, and I'm seeing by the reaction of Anthony Calvillo, he is showing a little frustration as he twice in a row now could not find his open receiver, and on that last play he had an open receiver in Ben Cahoon, but the pressure up front this time by Saskatchewan flushed him to the opposite side of the field, and Cahoon, you can see his frustration starting to creep in.
5th to an out, and what does Damon Duval do now is complaining about the grip on the football. That's better. Armstead cut down at the 45-yard line. Tackle made again by Corey Hucklack. Still not vintage Duval, only 38 on that kick, but better than 24 and 7.
Interesting now with just a minute 1 left in the first half to see if Saskatchewan tries to be aggressive and push the ball to get some more points before the end of the half, try for that major, or do they get conservative here and just be happy with the lead? I think in a game of this magnitude and how quickly it can slip away from you, you go ahead and get aggressive, get the points when you can.
What we've seen from this guy this year, Darian Durant, is fearlessness. They do give to Cates, but Cates kicks it outside. Gerald Brown up to meet him at the 50. And Wes Cates has 4-5.
A tremendous vision there from Wes Cates. He starts out, and look how he's looking like he's trying to look to his right and show that he may be picking up someone in pass protection. Then he takes the ball. Nice vision to bounce back all the way to the back side of the play as he sees it clogged up to the play side. So he goes back to the right.
2nd and 6. Durant steps up and throws complete. That's a first down, and Andy Fantuz moves the chains.
Now Darian Durant slides out to the right of this pocket, and he just shows his poise as he uses his legs. He's a great ability to run. He had an 8.4-yard average, but I love whenever he scrambles or runs out of the pocket, he runs with his eyes up, looking for that open receiver, and he found one.
Roughriders do have a timeout. 30 seconds remaining, first half. Durant to throw, and that is complete. There's Duran Walker, and they'll mark him at the 41. So Ken Miller's got his team close to field goal range. And 2nd and short.
They want to keep it going to try and take a shot at the end zone. If they can pick up about 10 here, could get a couple of plays more.
2nd and a pair, and it's a quarterback draw to first down. Brought down at the 31-yard line. Now they're in field goal range and will likely use their timeout.
Well, in field goal range and with 13 seconds, may have a chance for one play to the end zone. Quarterback draw called. Good block at the point of attack. It was Wes Cates again on Diamond Ferry to cut his legs out.
Saving the timeout, they go no huddle, and they'll take a shot. Durant rolling, looking for Fantuz. He's got it at the corner. They're marking him out at the 2.
But do they have time? The clock says 0-0. I thought he went out with about 1 second left. And are they ruling them out?
They may have to go to the command center.
Yeah.
Actually, they're ruling no catch at all. They said his foot was out. Fantuz just saw the replay up on the screen, and he argued the point. He's got a foot. Well, he got that foot down first, didn't he?
Yeah, his right foot. Catch made there, right foot down.
Right foot was down.
You only need 1 foot down in the Canadian Football League, and it looked like he had possession of the ball and his right foot on the ground. The other question here is what was on the clock?
It's such a quick stutter step, but that right foot is clearly down before the left is on the white paint. So the challenge flag is out. That's one issue. The other is, did all this happen with any time left on the clock?
When Fantuz put his foot on the white stripe, that second foot, I looked at the clock at that moment, and there was 2 seconds left then. It went down to 1. But that's going to be, there's 2 questions here. They're challenging whether or not that was a catch. It looks like it was.
Saskatchewan is challenging a ruling on the field. They believe it was a catch.
So that's the challenge, because they did mark the spot. So the initial mark was catch, but when they conferred the officials, they ruled it no catch. So the ruling right now on the field is no catch by Fantuz. They are challenging that ruling. But the other thing in question they have to look at is, was there time on the clock when that play was finally blown dead?
Well, there's a look at the command center in Toronto. Jake Ireland on the right with all the high-tech gear.
That's Jake Ireland right there.
We'll take a look at this replay, and you can see the clock in the corner, 3 seconds 2, and so clearly there would be time on the clock.
So there's the 2 seconds to your right, and there's the foot on the white stripe, which would stop the play.
So this should be first down with 1.5 yards to go, and another interesting call.
Yes.
If it goes Saskatchewan's way, if it goes the way it should, does Ken Miller go for a touchdown with 1 second to go, or do they just take 3 more points at a 17-3 lead to the locker room?
Well, the ruling as to whether or not it was a catch is important for Luka Kanji in the first place, because even if they go for a field goal down here, it's a chip shot for him rather than a longer one. So take a look. This is a better look at the clock. Right foot down. You can see 2 seconds, and the left foot on the white stripe.
So clearly 2 seconds, and here comes Glenn Johnson with the verdict.
After review, the player did catch the ball inbounds, and there are 2 seconds on the play clock, on the game clock. 2 seconds.
And that's why you have video replay, especially in a game of this magnitude.
Now, Ken Miller wants a timeout, and what does he do here? In 2 seconds, he will not get another chance, so it's one play before the end of the half. Conventional thinking would say take the points, but it would be tempting. Now he's not on the 1, he's on the 2.
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
Field goal unit has come on. Armchair quarterbacks across Canada. What do you think? Well, this will give them a 2-touchdown lead if indeed Kanji is successful.
And no matter how this game turns out, this will be one of those plays that is, and decisions that is talked about forever, because this is one of those decisions, and I like the decision by Ken Miller. In a game where your defense is playing as well as Saskatchewan's is right now, and a lead, take the points.
So from 9 yards out, Kanji puts it through, and it is a 2-touchdown lead after 30 minutes. What a brilliant performance by the Saskatchewan Roughrider defense, and I think a somewhat shocking effort by an experienced Montreal Alouette team that was heavily favored.
Darren Durant in his first start did not show nerves.
Let's check in with Farhan Lalji and the Saskatchewan head coach Ken Miller.
Coach, you almost ran out of time there. Just talk about the momentum that last play gives you going into the second half.
Well, I think it'll give us some momentum. We've been sporadic and then we need that. We need to have some consistency, and this is a long halftime. So we've got to start with a bang when we come out.
Thanks, Coach. Let's send it to the other sidelines and Sarah Orleski.
Coach, this is a position that this group isn't used to being in this year. What's the biggest adjustment to make going into the second half?
Well, we just got to regain our composure. We're very lucky to only be 14 down right now. Saskatchewan's playing very well. Our defense has been on the field too long because our offense hasn't had many drives, and we've turned the ball over twice. So we feel very fortunate right now to be only down by 14. We've got a long way to go. Got to gain our composure and just got to play the second half one play at a time.
Thank you.
You bet, Sarah.
17-3 at the half at McMahon, the Pepsi Max Grey Cup halftime show featuring Blue Rodeo. Coming up next.